Good Monday morning. Welcome to the Dr. J Vlog Series. It is indeed Monday, June 9th, 2025, and on Mondays we talk about mathematics and statistics. Today we'll have a little bit of fun talking about 5 fun facts for 5 oceans. That's the theme this week, oceans. The oceans are absolutely phenomenal from almost any perspective imaginable. And yet the oceans are still quite mysterious in many respects. Consider, for example, that we know more about the topography and the surface of Mars than we do about the landscapes at the bottom of the seas. And while we know that the ocean serves as the home for the vast majority of life forms on the planet, we've only documented about, I say only, but about 250,000 of the species currently alive in the oceans, and it's estimated that there are perhaps at least 2 million and maybe even a far greater number of species living in the oceans. So I mentioned this yesterday, but we're discovering about a little over 2,000 new species, different types of marine life each year. So the progress is a bit slow and steady, as they say. So what do we know, though, at least statistically speaking, about the oceans? Well, first, that we have 5 oceans now, as I'll explain a little bit more in a moment, but we're going to rank them from largest to smallest. Pacific Ocean is the largest, followed by the Atlantic Ocean, then the Indian Ocean, then the Southern Ocean, the newest ocean, and then the Arctic Ocean. Okay, and so here are 5 fun facts about each of the Earth's 5 oceans. All right, let's start with that behemoth, the Pacific Ocean. So again, it's the largest, and it covers about 30% of the Earth's surface, meaning that it's so large that it's bigger than all of the world's continents combined. So the Pacific Ocean, that's fun fact number 1. So fun fact number 2 is that the Pacific Ocean basin contains the famed Ring of Fire. Some of you have probably heard of this, right? Wherein there are several hundred volcanoes that stretch across roughly 40,000 kilometers that outline the continents, North and South America, Asia, and Australia. And about 90% of the world's earthquakes then occur within that ring as well. And that's, of course, also where you get the tsunamis, etc. Fun fact number 3, the Pacific contains the majority of the world's islands, with over 25,000 in total. And the largest island is, well, in the north it's Greenland, but in the south and in the Pacific it's New Guinea, which is also, as I say, the largest in the southern hemisphere. And the largest island chain in the Pacific as well includes the Hawaiian Islands. So you probably knew that. Fun fact number 4 is that while we know that Mount Everest is the tallest mountain, or the highest mountain peak in the world, the underwater mountain known as Mauna Kea, located on Hawaii, can be found in the Pacific as well, rising about 4,200 meters above sea level. But in total, if you measure Mauna Kea from its underwater base to its peak, it's actually over 10,000 meters high, and that's significantly higher than Mount Everest. Okay, and then fun fact number 5 is if you ever really want to get away from it all, get away from people, get away from land specifically, then the Pacific has the most remote location in the world, called Point Nemo. So yeah, if you want to find Nemo, you're going to find it in the southern Pacific, and it's the point in any ocean where a person would be farthest from land, any kind of land, in any direction. So it's equidistant from 3 different land masses. And that estimated distance, right, triangulated there, the estimated distance is about 2,688 kilometers from each source, or about 1,670 miles. So yeah, if you want to get away from it all, find that Point Nemo. Okay, then there's the Atlantic Ocean. Fun fact number 1. So the Atlantic Ocean, of course, is the second largest ocean, and it covers about 20% of the Earth's surface. And it's, as I say, second only in size to the Pacific, and it's slightly larger than the Indian, which we'll get to in a moment. Fun fact number 2 is the youngest and saltiest of the 5 oceans, having formed during the Jurassic period about 150 million years ago after the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea. Fun fact number 3, the Atlantic Ocean is home to the Sargasso Sea. Why do I mention that? Well, it's described as a floating seaweed habitat that covers about 5 million square kilometers. But what's especially distinctive about the Sargasso Sea is that it's the only sea in the world without a coastline. So that's quite remarkable. Fun fact number 4 about the Atlantic is the depth of the Atlantic Ocean is on average just over 2 miles or 3,339 meters. And while not as deep as the Mariana Trench, it does boast the Milwaukee Deep in Puerto Rico, 8,605 meters or more than 5.3 miles deep. So if you're ever on Jeopardy or you're in Trivial Pursuit, just bear that in mind. Okay. And then finally, fun fact number 5, the Atlantic Ocean contains the world's most remote island, the Bouvert Island, Bouvert, which is an uninhabited volcanic island and a protected nature reserve. And it's situated in the southern part of the Atlantic Ocean at the southern end of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and just north of the Antarctic Circle. All right, on to the third largest ocean, the Indian Ocean. Just a bit smaller than the Atlantic. It's also the world's warmest ocean on average, generally ranging between 66 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit on the surface in much of the northern part of the ocean, in particular in the portions closer, obviously, to the equator. Fun fact number 2, the Indian Ocean not only has a robust store of mineral deposits, it also has many oil deposits, comprising about 40% of the world's production. Fun fact number 3, the Indian Ocean contains a submerged microcontinent named the Kerguelen Plateau, which is believed to be of volcanic origins. It's actually almost 3 times the size of the state of California, which of course is huge, and became fully submerged about 20 million years ago. And it's now between 1,000 and 2,000 feet below sea level. Fun fact number 4, the deepest point in the Indian Ocean is the Sunda Deep of the Java Trench, off the southern coast of Java in Indonesia, and it measures about 24,440 feet or about 7,450 meters below the surface. And then finally, fun fact number 5 is due to the generally warmer temperatures of the Indian Ocean, that makes it difficult for phytoplankton to grow in most areas. And because phytoplankton is such a vital food source, it's a major reason why there's more limited marine life in general in the Indian Ocean. Okay, Southern Ocean, the 4th largest ocean. It's also known as the Antarctic Ocean, and it comprises the southernmost waters of the world, generally taken to be about the whole thing is south of 60 degrees latitude and encircles the Antarctica. Fun fact number 2, there's been a long discussion about the Southern Ocean as the world's 5th ocean, with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, being the first to officially recognize the Southern Ocean as a separate body all the way back in 1999. However, the National Geographic Society only finally recognized the Southern Ocean as the 5th ocean quite recently, in June of 2021. Fun fact number 3, the newest acknowledged deepest point was recorded and mapped by the 5 Deeps expedition in February 2019. And using the latest sonar technology, the leader of the expedition and the pilot of the submersible that was named the DSV limiting factor They discovered a point that's about 24,000 feet, or about 7.4 kilometers below the surface. And now, because of the name of the submersible, it's known as the Factorian Deep. Okay, fun fact number 4. Due to its closeness to the South Pole, the Southern Ocean has freezing temperatures that lead to the formation of these massive icebergs that float in the waters. And some of them are incredibly large, hundreds of feet in length, and just so impressive and beautiful, really magnificent. So much so that they're partly responsible then for attracting tens of thousands of tourists each year. And of course, they can be quite dangerous to the ships too, so be careful. Movatzeh bosh, we say in Farsi. And then finally, fun fact number 5, the biggest invertebrate, the colossal squid, dwells in the depths of the Southern Ocean. And so this giant squid feeds on Patagonian toothfish, and they can be as long as 45 feet in length. And it has these massive, big round eyes that can grow up to 10 inches in diameter. So I think that would be an interesting source for a movie, some kind of a, horror movie or scary movie. Well, I don't know, something dealing with the colossal squid. Okay, and then finally, the Arctic Ocean. So fun fact number 1, the Arctic Ocean is the world's smallest and shallowest ocean, covering less than 3% of the Earth's surface. Fun fact number 2 is that it formed officially about 65 million years ago during the Cenozoic era, and it has led to this gradual expansion of the seafloor and opening up of the Arctic Ocean basin. The fun fact number 3, the term Arctic comes from the Greek word Artikos, which means near the bear, or northern. And it's a reference then to the Ursa Major constellation, popularly known as the Great Bear. Fun fact number 4, the Arctic Ocean is home to polar bears. The only home. This is the only place you can find polar bears, at least native to the habitat, anywhere in the world. And in addition, the Arctic has 4 species of whales, including the gray whale, the beluga, the bowhead whale, and narwhal, as well as 6 different species of seals. And then finally, fun fact number 5, there's a guy, Lewis Pugh. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's sort of called the Sir Edmund Hillary of swimming, because he's an endurance swimmer, and he's an ocean advocate who's the first person to have completed the holy grail of long-distance swimming, having done long-distance swims in each of the 5 world's oceans. He basically swims in vulnerable ecosystems and then tries to draw attention to their plight. And in 2007, Pugh made the first swim across the North Pole to highlight the melting Arctic sea ice, which has been melting at about 12% of the total per decade, about 12% per decade over the last 5 decades. Okay, so them's the statistical facts for the day, and as ever, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives, nurture love in your hearts, and dole out hugs in abundance, and I hope to see you tomorrow.